It's a 2-minute drill.
Pastor Robert Turner here of New Birth Ministries. Today is Friday. It's our 2-minute drill. Sunday is Pentecost Sunday. So this is an historical time for the believer. So let's see what the voice of the Spirit has to say for our 2-minute drill on Friday. Let's go. The cry of the Spirit. That's a term that's used a lot in the charismatic church. Now, the word cry in the Hebrew language is spelled Z-A-A-Q, and that means Za'ak. That's how you pronounce it, Za'ak. And that word means to summons. It does not mean to literally cry real tears, but it means to summons. Now, I want you to think about this. All around the world, people are crying. In America, we're crying. The Asians are crying. The Native Americans are crying. Everyone is crying. The Bohemians are crying. But with everybody crying, how come God is not doing anything when everyone is crying? That's because our cries are not summoning Him. Our cries are simply physical cries, but they're not the spiritual cries. They're not the cry of the Spirit. And because they're not the cry of the Spirit, it's not summoning nothing from God. Let's go to us as children. When you are a child, a little infant or a baby, whenever there is a cry, the Father is summoned, because that's not just a natural cry. There is something that the child cannot do for itself, and it is determined and depending on the parent to look after it. There is a cry that has to take place in the Spirit, that whenever we release a cry of the Spirit, we're summoning the presence of God to intervene on our behalf right now. And God, I believe, is calling the church back to the cries of the Spirit, not the cries in the natural, not the cries that you cry when something happens, but a cry in the Spirit that's telling God that something is not happening, that it should be happening in the Spirit. And we want to tell you today, on this Pentecost weekend, it's time to cry in the Spirit. That's my time.